Hey, how's it going? Ooh, ooh. Put my drink too close to where I could knock it the heck over. I'll just move that. Thank you. Hey, how's it going? I guess I should let you look at signs. I just got this to stand up the way I wanted it, but I'll move it so you can look at the signs. Okay. Oh, shoot, I forgot. Whoa, see, that's why I didn't want to move it. Because it's on something that is not meant to do what it's doing. It's on a few things, and none of them are for this. They're not intended for this purpose, but it's working. Thank you for cooperating. Okay, what was I babbling about? Well, anyway, I pulled a couple of cards. Well, jeez, I pulled one card from this one. This fellow is this upside down. Meow, what? You want to go out? Be right back. Okay, now I'm back. When your cat thinks all doors are push. Poor little guy. He's so smart. I don't know why he hasn't figured out to pull the door, but well, maybe he will. Maybe he'll surprise me. So, yeah, I showed you the deck I got the card from, and the card is Me Talks, number 39, which is 3, if you break it down, because whatever. Well, I don't know. Actually, I'm thinking of the way to do the math problem. That's not the right kind of numerology. 9 and 3 is 12. And then that's 3. So maybe it is the right kind. What am I talking about? Anyway, the Me Talks subtitle is okay, can't do that. Repairing the body / mind / spirit. It's all the rage. Oops, don't want it that way. And then, as usual, I went to pull one card from the Animal Spirit deck, the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck, but I actually ended up with way more than I certainly planned to. I just wanted one. I ended up with 4, but it's not as daunting as it was just a week ago. Especially today. I don't know. Something happened yesterday, like things were kind of like hectic and crazy and also good, but it was just brought into clearest focus how really calm my life had been and I guess excitement free of the type of excitement that gives you anxiety. But it's an experience. Just love it. Anyway, so not so intimidated by all the multiple cards anymore. And the multiple cards I got were Dragonfly. I love them. I have like maybe I'm imagining it, but I'll go sit out on my deck and I'll be out there and I'll go, oh, there's no dragonflies. Come on, some dragonflies, and then some will come and I'll watch them and I'll go, oh, come closer, I want to look at you, and they'll come and like buzz right there in my face for a couple of seconds and go away. And they'll do it for like more than once, and more of them will come and they'll all start doing it. I like them. And then the next one I pulled was, oh, actually, they did not come in order, because when I got them, they flew out and fell on the floor. Well, I don't know if they flew, but they all just kind of went blah, blah, all together, and I was like, ah! But okay, so this is how I picked them up, though. And then the next card was Gazelle. Got it. No comment just yet. And then the next two were both water, air, earth, water, water. These two are, for most of us, the first impression we're going to have is dangerous. And true, they can be. But they're so much more than that, too. I'm actually going to come back to these and start with the Shaman's Dream card, because that's just the direction I feel like going today. Excuse me. And can I just say again, and can I just say that I didn't finish what I started to say earlier about, like, just feeling all hyped up, basically. Kind of unpleasantly, but not necessarily. It really depended on, like, what time of day. But anyway, I know I mentioned yesterday, in yesterday's reading, that something broke. I actually know what broke, and I know when it broke. I was super stressed out, and then I was talking to somebody, and a joke passed between us, and it just, like, broke my tension, and ever since then I've been like, oh, I feel so much better. And then, I don't know, it was like, I knew that more, like, I think there's a super duper gamma burst that was supposed to come in, like, last night or this morning, or maybe it was today. Maybe I have that wrong, but I think that's what I listened to somewhere yesterday, or yeah, it wasn't even yesterday, it was like over the weekend. I know, I'm taking a long time to get to the point, but I'm going to get there. And it was just like the love burst. It's meant to kind of get in the way of our impulse to clash with each other and, you know, make a big deal about a difference between people. And, you know, I mean, maybe it is kind of a love lobotomy, but that's like the best kind of lobotomy you could ever ask for if you're going to have a lobotomy. And it's a gift from our Sky family people. And so that, I believe, and that, I believe, has been affecting my mood. I know I just start the sentences and run, like, just drop it. Start it and drop it somewhere and wrap it off somewhere else. Working on that. So yeah, but I did come back and finish that sentence. Now, where was I? Oh, yes. The feeling that I've been working on myself, too. Like, I am well aware of some of my things that I could improve upon or shed or something, you know. Some type of maintenance needs to be underway in certain areas, and that's okay. That's great, actually. Like, the more that you do, the better off you are, I believe. Anyway, that in combination with, like, the waves, and my general feeling for years has been, can't we just get along? Rodney King, the genius. And I'm not being at all sarcastic when I say that. So, I mean, that's kind of where my head is at. I'm very inclined to just be all lovey and nice, if that makes any sense. I'm sure I'm not the only one, and that makes me happy. We need that. We got to have an infusion of that for all of the other infusions that are, well, you know, it's so easy to get drawn into something emotional. Have you noticed that? Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be like that soft-minded that I can just watch something and it just like almost literally sucks me in and takes over my ability to make an independent thought, you know? Because, like, I'll turn on, like, YouTube and I'm gonna watch some show about, you know, what's going on now is all government stuff and Trump stuff. So, or your other option is the channel where all bad things happen to people almost exclusively, except once in a while they'll have a redemptive episode or something like that. So it's just kind of like, depends on where you're dipping your wick, I guess. But my feeling is I want to be able to put my, I know that's the wrong metaphor, I don't really care. I want to be able to dip my wick anywhere, and regardless of what is going on with the ink, I'm just like, whatever, I'm just gonna dip here, and then I'm gonna take off once I check out the situation and see what this ink is all about. And once I get a read on it, Johnny Inking Seed. Moving on to the next vial. Yeah, it must be a Sagittarius thing. But anyway, why did I start talking about that? I don't know. If I just move on without trying to go back to where I was, the being like the sort of vagabond soul and wanting to sample. My last name is Sample. No pun intended, though. Just sample the wares of everywhere. I'm curious, darn it. Let me talk about this card and stop talking about whatever I was talking about. Oh, wait, I did have a conclusion for all of that. The stuff that comes from space, like the rays in that, we can't stop them, really, unless we lived in a Faraday suit. I don't even know if that would work, but we have no defense. Resistance is futile. Except this is a Borg I want to join that hive mind of love, other than the other alternatives. Okay, that is it. And oh, maybe not. Everybody else gets a serving of it too. Okay, that's it. Now I get to talk about this. So I know, well, probably everyone knows this, but it feels really good to bathe. Showers feel pretty good, but I don't get to do it often enough. But my favorite thing to do in water is float. So a bath is my best alternative. But possibly because of the energy that's making us feel like crackle paper. What is crackle paper? Do you know what caps are? It's you can get a cap gun, right? It's a toy. Oh, I don't know if you can still get them. I don't know. I don't buy little children toys anymore, so I don't even know. I haven't seen them. Wow, it's blowing my mind. They used to be in liquor stores. Oh, there was kids' toys everywhere. Back in the day, I miss the days when you could go buy a pickle and a cap gun at your local store, and a pack of cigarettes for your mom. And anyway, crackle paper. So the cap guns, the cap is a sheet of paper with some gunpowder. You ever seen a sheet of ravioli? It's kind of like that, except it's paper and gunpowder instead of dough and ravioli filling. But it's like a sheet with little dots of filling, right? That's gunpowder. And the cap sheets, the crackle paper, it's actually scored so you can pull it off in strips, because the strips you feed into your cap gun toy. But the stuff itself just in the sheet, I don't know who else calls it this, but it's crackle paper. And I just thought that's kind of how we are. And it's what's between us if we're in that sort of vibration of debate or more intense levels of it. I'm not going to characterize it. You know what I mean, I think. And so a lot of readings for a while, and not just readings, just anywhere there's some kind of self-help, anything, there's somebody in there talking about, take a vacation, breathe deeply, do yoga, like every kind of calming skill to cope yourself down. It's everywhere is talking about it, and it's good advice. So I've been taking baths lately, which is always an adventure, because the reason why they just feel good to take a bath, but in my tub it's not actually as good and relaxing as one would think. I'm not that tall. It's like a short tub for me. I think I'm like 5'4" because I lost inches, but I think I'm 5'4" these days, and it's barely long enough for me. I can't get all of my body down into the water. I have to have at least like half of it sticking out if I want the other half to be submerged, which is difficult because it's my shoulders that are bothering me. So there's that. It's short. And then I don't know it's just the worst idea, but there's a lump at the head end of the tub, like if you were sitting like where your butt would be. There is like this hard berm, or I want to say sandbar, but it's whatever, fiberglass. And if you lay on your back to get your shoulders under the water while your whole legs are sticking up right between your shoulder blades, or just somewhere terrible on your spine, is this lump. And I don't know what it's there for. I don't know if are you supposed to sit behind it so you don't slide. It doesn't stop me from sliding. I mean, not that I'm out of control, I can stop myself from sliding, but if it's a safety measure, I think it's flawed. Okay. But regardless of all of that, though, you can't have everything always perfect like you want it. If you haven't figured that out by the time you're my age, which is in my 50s, then catch up, little tomato, because that's how it is. You can, it's like I was saying about the 7 of Cups the other day. You can get a gift out of the cup, and you may be grabbing a snake and thinking, I'm grabbing the snake and it's like gonna bite me and maybe poison me, and like thinking of all of the negative things that could happen with grabbing a snake. But maybe tied to the snake's tail is like gold bullion or something, and the snake is not a snake, something else that just looks like one, that's not poisonous or gonna hurt you. Like, you don't really know what kind of thing you're getting until you get the full picture of it, basically. So with my tub, and everything about it is great except for the length and the lump, and still I can use it and get a nice, I just have to position, you have to be flexible and adaptable. Like everything is not going to meet your perfect specification. So if you want things to work, you got to maneuver, you got to resituate, little give and take. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so I don't know what the hell that has to do with all of this, but it does go along with the whole theme of like needing to have this break, this cleansing moment, this calming moment where, I was thinking, I've had 2 baths this week, which I usually just shower. I don't, and I'll like wet myself down and turn off the water, and then like do the California conservation shower, which is, whatever. It just feels good to be underwater for me. But I was in the tub the other day because my shoulder was bothering me, and it came to me that I had gotten in some position that I was really comfortable, and I almost dozed off, and I was like, oh gosh, I feel like I'm in the womb. This is why you scream and yell when they yank you out, and maybe why I love floating too, because that's what I was saying earlier, and maybe I didn't complete the sentence, but haven't been anywhere where I could float in a while, and it is like I feel like I need to take care of that. I need to go find some place where I can float myself. It's just a really rejuvenating thing for me. And that's what this is all about. And, you know, it's kind of like all of the concerns and worries that this person had are floating up on the steam out. Because you look at, there's someone here, like, I can't really tell who's what gender in this picture. This person in the tub, androgynous, and then in the steam here, oh, sorry, this way, here's the person with the feathered headdress. So coming up out of the steam here, it looks like there's a person with their arms crossed, and it could be like, it looks like it's male. Could be boss, could be spouse, or something like that. But whoever it is, God, look at how they're looking down. So, like they expect you to jump when they say jump, or not even that. They just want you to say how high. Like, that's just what I'm getting from it. And like yeah, maybe it's like a boss or something like that. Someone with authority over you, and this person is like, you know, I gotta get that out of my pores. Let that go off on the steam. Like maybe there's some sort of stringent tincture or herb or something in the water that's detoxifying and allowing the pores to let that stuff out so it can escape on the steam. But it's like a very foreboding image. Like, God, you gotta be worried about that. No wonder you want to soak your head. And there's also a well, I want to say bubble, but what I also see is satellite receiving dish, which is weird. Why would you have it there? But I mean, like, also it could be, there's other bubbles around, right? And I just can't understand, like, why is this in the center of it? Is it a bubble donut? Is it a toroid bubble? Is that a thing? Wow, I'll have to look that up. I'm serious. I want to know if a bubble can be a toroid. I want to also know if my pen can write. There we go. Uh-oh. Okay. Let me just examine this for a minute. Oh, you know... Oh, I see. There's like a shelf in the background. It doesn't completely make sense because where it seems to be sticking out of the shelf, or is it a shelf? I'm not sure what the heck's going on there. But you can see that the person in the water has their hands coming up out of the water. Are they wearing clothes in the tub? Does sort of look like there's a sleeve, but there's the hands, and they're like clasped around what looks like a bar of soap. But I don't know what kind of soap that you rub in between your palms like you're doing a Mr. Burns where steam and bubbles come out. But, you know, something is significant about this headdress. Like, this is the shaman's dream oracle. This could be like this shaman also dozing off in their tub, and all of this daily residue, as I said, coming off on the steam, and it's just almost kind of a dream space, which is a space where shamans, I've heard, spend a lot of time interpreting the world. This one, using the other one. You know, on the other side of the veil, that veil that I've mentioned that we don't know much about, I guess, except that it exists, I guess. What am I doing on time here? Ooh, boy. Okay, let me read what this says. That was just all over the place. I don't even know what I said anymore, I hope. I hope it's useful somehow. Okay, can't see that. Me-tox, eliminating toxic thinking, repairing the body, mind, spirit, cleaning house. When the Me-tox card appears, it challenges you to discard the deep, dearly held judgments that you have passed over yourself and others. Release the people who you feel wronged or offended you. Recognize that they mirror the shadow aspects of your own soul. Release the people who feel, release the people who you feel wronged or offended you. Recognize that they mirror the shadow aspects of your own soul. What's interesting about that is someone mirroring your shadow aspects also is like, to me, when we trigger things from each other, and it's, ow, it's like we associate triggering one another or each other getting triggered as a negative thing, but it's not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. Like, you could trigger a happy memory or a bittersweet one. So I mean, we do have an effect on each other, and sometimes it's conscious and we're aware of it, and sometimes not. But whatever we trigger in each other, it's an energy exchange, and on some level that may not be like broadcast over a bullhorn or something. There's like, I guess, an instant arrangement or agreement, or else it was arranged a long time ago. Meow, what are you doing back in here? I've just let you out. You have to wait. Maybe, so we have like an agreement, an unspoken agreement with each other to bring this out of each other and have that interaction however it works out. But the thing is we can start out with the plan to have a debate, like a disagreement type of interaction, but there's nothing to say that we can't completely shift the tone of it to a positive interaction where, you know, you sit down and talk and exchange ideas, and maybe even something comes out of it positively and creatively where, you know, everyone walks away having gained something, which you would have anyway if it would have gone like the negative way, but you might go with that negative output into a negative direction and not do something like that would be like a gain for you. Well, even the bad thing is like a gain, but I'm gonna try to keep it simple. Like, if you do a good thing, it's a good thing. So making that shift, I think, especially if the initial plan was to go negative, like dispensing with the negative thing in favor of doing the positive thing, has to be a good and positive thing if that math works. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna read some more. Love to interrupt myself. Okay. Yes, it is a tough pill to swallow, having your shadow aspects reflected back in your face. And, you know, if you know that, then you can't even really blame the other person that is the reflecting matter. Only then can you cull from your life the toxic people you have allowed in your inner circle, by recognizing that they're making you shadow aspect and trigger each other. It's like probably a good time to say, okay, we're done with that. We get it. Noted. Sayonara. It's time for a clearing. Okay, I'm not seeing that very well. It's time for a cleaning of your proverbial house. Get rid of the thoughts and personal judgments poisoning your mind. Eliminate the inauthentic beliefs of others you've adopted as your own. Get your own clues. Don't be one of those people calling other people sheeple with a whole crowd of other people that are saying the exact same thing that you're saying. Do you not see the irony there? I hope that's the right word. I think it is. Anyway, do so before your mind makes you sick. Get rid of those adopted ideas. Or get you to do something that ends up with the feds after you and you in federal prison. So, yeah, definitely. Like, watch out who you're trailing. And empty your literal cupboards of the unhealthy junk food poisoning your body. Hey, I don't have anything good. I mean, junk food. I don't. For real, I don't. Fear for one day. Oh, sorry. Fast for one day. The word is so far from my mind. I'm all fear, foot, anything but fast. Fast for one day. Oh, where'd it go? See, I don't even want to look at it. Fast for one day, or skip a meal. I'm just kidding. Sort of. Or skip a meal to allow your body to cleanse itself and rid itself of toxins. Okay, like, that's serious. I shouldn't mess around. I have been skipping meals, not that... oh my gosh, I just realized something. So I started doing this thing, where you have, turmeric and black pepper and, room temperature water before you have anything else in the day. Or just the water, but I've been doing the turmeric and the pepper along with it, because that's supposed to inhibit your appetite. And I guess it's been working, because I definitely have the Seth Rogen cannabis method, which is like your 7-Eleven type situation. And I mean, it has been known to give people the munchies, and like I said, I don't have anything good, so that kind of helps. But I also, I've been waiting till kind of late in the day to eat. And also, I've been finding that, like, I'll go get up and think I want coffee and then not get around to having the coffee till 4 in the afternoon. It's decaf, it's okay. And it doesn't matter, because I stay up like 21 hours a day anyway. So, I don't know what I was talking about there. I mean, where that led, I don't know where it started from. The not putting the toxins in your body. Well, yeah, right. It's serious. It's a good idea to not do that, dude. I mean, think about this. Okay. Here's one. Skittles. You know, Taste the Rainbow. They sell them here all over the place. Guess what? They're banned in Europe. I think they're banned in most of the world. And here we're just all colors, this juicy flavor. First of all, there's no juice in those things. That's just saliva, you sugar-eating knuckleheads. Don't listen to the dumb advertising either about why is it banned in the other countries? Like Roundup is banned. We got all kinds of stuff here that's banned other places. That doesn't worry you? These places are not third world countries. Those countries are like us. They'll let the banned stuff in. And we're supposed to be one of the first world ones. You ever think about that? Rant over. It's not the light. If I turn on another light, it's not going to make me see better. It's my eyesight. I gotta get in there and get tuned up. I read that. Oh, okay. Detox appears as a warning that you can no longer postpone the self-care and pampering you long for. The time is now. Do healthy maintenance on your body before you have to make repairs that you will never quite recover from. Detox has come to caution you that it is not too late, but you are at the 11th hour. Do not deprive yourself of the health you deserve. Word. And, okay, well, I have a... Whoa. Okay, fine, whatever. I just got a weird alert. So the multiple cards were not actually as daunting as I thought they were going to be at first, because when I laid them out, it was, this could well, it's an animal, so it is of the angelic realm, the dragonfly, and it's of the air category of, I don't know what I'm trying to talk about, what it's called. Well, it's air in the category of earth, air, water, and earth, air, water. What else? Fire. Yeah, fire. Elements. Duh. So yeah, it's of the air element, and then the you part of the other ones. These two guys are the water element, but the water element tends to be below sea level, which is also, it's going to be below ground level. Like, you rarely see, like, the only time you're going to see water above the earth, above the actual earth planet, is if it's a waterfall. There is no place you're going to be walking around and all of a sudden the pond that you're next to is on the path in front of you, vertical, as if you're just gonna, and not flowing all over and being subject to gravity. Like, that's not gonna happen. That's not, all right, don't get excited. That's not how gravity works. So I'm going somewhere with this, but I'm gonna say that they go deep, deeper than ground level where we walk around and stuff. So they can exist in a whole other sort of dimension way more easily than we can. Like, we have the whole breathing thing, and they're not necessarily gonna want to eat you immediately if you're in the water next to them, but if you stay in there until they get hungry again, you might become an option. But that's just herring off into something else. The point is that they both represent going deep, and going deep, just as a term for me right now as I'm doing this, is going to be referring to going deep into your mind, deep into your thoughts. Well, sort of that thing that, like, is my favorite thing now, is to just kind of go inside and find out, like, what kind of thing is making you act some kind of funky way that you don't necessarily approve of, and get to the bottom of it and start uprooting that. Like, if you know, and when I say you, I mean me, but if you know you got something going on that is not copacetic with the world, and it's just like getting in the way of your flow of reality in your life. A long time ago, I learned, well, it wasn't like one lesson, there was several, but I learned that whatever thing that you're in, you know, event, activity, relationship, dynamic, whatever it is, the interaction, a lot of us have a tendency first, before thinking about like what actually has happened, if it's inconveniencing us or screwing us up bad, we're gonna jump to blame somebody else. But the thing that I learned, though, is if you have these things happen over and over and over, and you're noticing a pattern and it's kind of the same thing, different day, then you're the common denominator in your problem, and you need to get to the root of why you're probleming yourself if you don't like it. And it takes some of us, God, I'm like obsessive compulsive, just get Oh my God, I really am. That is, oh man, that's a weird revelation about myself. But anyway, yes. I think I lost the track. Oh, but they go deep, and so yes, we could become something that looks like a snack, but if not, maybe they're just down below where sounds are very muted that are coming from up above, where there's a lot of chaos and there's air, but it's not the right kind of air if you're a shark, because your gills just don't work in it, and it's just like, that it's safer and calmer and where you are supposed to be down in the deep, making if it's like a symbol of for you somehow, like the shark, and you're down there like doing your little tinkering and repairing on yourself and finding the root of whatever problem you may be having is, if you're astute at it and you're brutally honest with yourself, really. Although, I mean, you could start off being a little honest and sort of honest and build up to it, because I think we always have plenty to work with. And so these would represent for me as above, so below. And then this earth element animal, I pulled up the gazelle. They're very much like deers. In fact, I have some accounts that I am friends with on Twitter where their font is Arabic, and so they call things that this is true of every country, but I only really have noticed it of this place. They call everything that looks like this a gazelle. So there was like a deer, like a North American deer, brown deer, no stripes. Well, the bucks have horns, but the fawns and the does don't. But they're just like, there was a deer in this account, and I think it was Turkish, maybe. And they called the deer a gazelle, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. But it's not that unusual, because in America we have dogs that we call German Shepherds, but in Europe they're Alsatians, or probably every. Why? Excuse me for a second. Anyway, yeah, Alsatians. I was gonna say that probably more than just Europe calls them that too. Like, we gotta put our stamp on everything. But anyway, about the gazelles. It looks so calm and so placid sitting there, and I see that, and all I can think is, there's predators everywhere that want to get at this. Look at those eyes. It's a baby. You know what? Look at the nose and the mouth. I know some people want to eat these guys, but they're so cute. No. But anyway, it's having a moment of calm. There's, momentarily nothing happening that it has to be on alert about. And it seems to be sundown, so, like, I mean, you punch out at some point while the sun's going down, and your mind and your body know that, the stressors of the day are over, and it's just like it's in a good, calm place, and I feel like that's what it's representing. But also the knitting together of the heart and the mind, which is also as above and so below, knitted together. I feel like, I hope this is making sense, makes this calm sum out of the equation. And it is symbolic of things that we could probably do well to keep in mind, so that we're not overstimulated and made over anxious and thrown out of our like healthy normal rhythms to where we want to start giving into like negative impulses and start doing things that kind of like sort of make all of your product progress like no like if you are a person that did AA for 6 months and were a terrible, spent years drinking and couldn't get out of it, and then after 6 months you get your chip and then you like freak out for whatever reason and lapse and go binge out, like maybe something in your life overstimulated you and made you over anxious and unlocked the compulsion to self-sabotage, you know, that work. And we do that from time to time, you know. We'll do a lot of self-repair and it's good, and while we can relapse, it doesn't necessarily erase the work you've done or what you've learned. And something can be learned from the relapse, like why did you do it? What got you to that place that would either make you think it was a good idea to just like trash that whole 6 months and have to start all over again, which I think when you're in the position, like if you relapse and then you sober up again, you're like, oh my God, that 6 months, I just threw it away. Insurmountable wall, but it's not. And maybe the lesson is in there. I don't know. It probably depends on the individual, but it sounds like there's a good lesson in what I just said. I know in a way that's kind of how I stopped drinking. I didn't have problems that made me need to go to AA or anything, but when I was like in a band and playing gigs all the time and spending time with other musicians, there's just a lot of drinking that goes on. When I wasn't doing those things or hanging around those people, there was a whole lot less drinking. I hear you. So, yeah, I just kind of merged out of that lifestyle, but at the same time, I was gradually getting sick to death of waking up with a hangover all the time, and then you feel crappy for another day. It's like a waste, you know? And there was that combination of thoughts that made me say, okay, I'm done with this garbage. Also spending money on it, and I don't know, just my things. But it is a good idea to have a me-tox and take a moment to center yourself between the what's above and what's below, and then unify them. Unify them together to again find your center. Taking the time off, spending some time by yourself, getting to the root of what's tiring you, what's triggering you, letting it steam off and dissipate. Can't be bad for the collective, and that can't be bad for everybody. Thank you and good night.